Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Estate Planning Expert Series, where I'll be chatting with experts on the topic to help financial advisors grow. Today's show is about integrating estate planning into your financial planning process. And I'm here with Andres Mazabel, GM of Advisors at Trust and Will. Andres, welcome to the show.
Diana, thanks so much for having me. Super excited for our conversation.
Me too, always. All right, so Andres is a top voice in this industry when it comes to estate planning. Financial advisors look to Andres for support, for help implementing estate planning or marketing estate planning. So he's a great guest for this show. So Andres, I'm going to roll into a few questions I have for you. And these are actually based on questions either advisors have sent over or ones that I know advisors have, right? They're asking them whether it's online in their community groups, maybe on some of our webinars in the chat box. So let's dive right in. Okay, first things first. Why is estate planning becoming such an essential component of financial planning? And maybe, Andres, what maybe some misconceptions do you think that advisors have about this?
I think some of the biggest learnings, Diana, in the last 5 years since we've started working and partnering with financial advisors, is that estate planning previously was always very reactive. Meaning, I refer to an attorney, hopefully they get it done. And what we're starting to see is that estate planning can now be more of a proactive approach that complements really well of what a financial advisor is trying to achieve in their financial planning engagements. And some of the things that we continue to hear and learn, honestly, is that advisors, like as a client, I know I should be saving for retirements, for my kids to go to college, all those things, right? The like really big important milestones. But by leveraging and complementing estate planning as part of that financial planning engagement, it helps you uncover what your clients really care about. So it opens up opportunities. It opens up introductions to people named in the estate plan. And it just deepens, what we always hear is it just deepens the relationship you have. You get to know your clients on a deeper level. Why are they working the way they do? Why do they hire you as the advisor, right? And go deeper and deeper with it. And I'd probably say the second part of that question on misconceptions is we still get a lot of questions from advisors on what can I do around estate planning and what can't I do? So I think the biggest misconception is you're not drafting documents. You're not recommending a specific product to say, Diana, you should do a trust, and here's why. So it's really helping drive education, accountability, and then by building a scalable system, you can uncover a lot of really unique opportunities that help your business grow and help you build a more meaningful relationship with your clients as well.
I couldn't agree more. We often say, like, when it comes to estate planning, clients aren't really leaving anything off the table, right? They want to put it all on the table. They want to make sure that their family's protected, their assets are protected. And so I think it's a great conversation to have. And with the misconceptions, I'd have to agree. This kind of gets into that UPL world, right? Unauthorized practice of law, where can I do things and where can I not do things? And so, yes, education is key. Let's talk about some practical steps, just kind of getting into this process that you mentioned. So what would you say are some practical steps advisors can take to start implementing estate planning into their overall service?
I would say our most productive advisors have two stages on how they really think about it, meaning new clients or prospects and their existing book of business. So first and foremost, when we first started this work with advisors, we would ask firms or even advisors, what percentage of your clients don't have an estate plan? And many of them were just guesstimating, probably 50, 60%. So one, it's like, track that in your CRM, right? Does the client have an estate plan? When's the last time it was updated? And we obviously have some integrations with WealthBox that help you have that visibility. Two, for new clients, how are you also tracking that? Super simple, super straight to the point. Do they have an estate plan as they come on board and I start working with them? If yes, when's the last time they were updated? And then if no, where are you also tracking that? And then two, from there, we've had a lot of successful advisors that and we focus on that new client at first. Where in the process are you bringing up estate planning? We have firms that do it very early on, as early as their second engagement with their clients, to bring up estate planning, the importance of it. And then we have some advisors that definitely focus on like potentially like that third or fourth meeting. But from there, it's driving education on what it is, why it's so important, the different roles. And then two, it's really making sure that the client is taking the next steps, either via a platform like Trust and Will, either with an attorney that they may be working with or have a relationship with. And then from there, it's once a client completes the estate plan, what's important to you as an advisor. And what we've learned is that advisors love to see who's named in the estate plan, what type of estate plan, who are the key people, right? So maybe next gen engagements. Is it children going off to college? Is it Aunt Sally, the executor, and do they know who their advisor is when it comes to that? And that's like the first stage in like working with new clients, right? Is really building out that process. So how early, and then how are you going to talk about it? And then for existing clients, this is one that we've heard from advisors that it's been an amazing engagement to get in front of their clients. It's an amazing reason to reach out, and it's really building the system behind it. So it's, kind of duplicating that system for new clients, but for existing, and really going out and doing some emails that help bring awareness. We have a lot of advisors who are actually setting up specific estate planning meetings. And then from there is leveraging our tools that we make it really easy for advisors now, for you to see the visualization, the estate summary that help you give you that visibility. But it's really building estate planning into your annual or semi-annual reviews that you're doing with your clients. And some of the, I think the really cool stories is it's different life stages: marriage, moving states, having a kid, all three that I'm going through actually, which is crazy to think about. And how advisors can be that second set of eyes to say, Diana, you just moved to Florida. Did you update your estate plan? And it's this feeling of, man, my advisor's like really looking after my big life moments that I need to make sure that I'm updating my estate plan, and they're looking after me when it comes to that.
Love that response. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's so much going on, but it's all good things.
All beautiful things. So I'm a big fan of systems, big fan of technology to help advisors scale. And you said something important there, right? You're already having these reviews, right? Whether they're annual or semi-annual. So it's not like you're having to go out and create some huge new thing in your practice as an advisor. You're sort of just kind of weaving this into what you're already doing. If you're listening to this live right now, then I highly encourage you to join our webinar. In fact, Andres and I are hosting it next week, next Wednesday, the 29th at 1 o'clock Eastern. If you want the link, comment on this post or go to my LinkedIn page. You'll see I literally just posted about it today. So you can register for it. But we're hosting a webinar called The Advisor's Guide to Estate Planning. So we're going to cover all of this process, and we're going to give you all the tools and a free email template and give you some inspiration for how to get started. So Andres, thank you. That was so helpful, and a preview of what we'll be sharing.
I can't wait to dive deeper into it next week, Diana. I strongly believe that advisors that are proactively implementing estate planning, we're actually seeing they're converting more clients, they're able to drive more revenue. And to your point, it's let us help you build a system that we have proven based on truly learning from other advisors on how they've built it, and then being able to kind of plug and play and have more meaningful conversations, uncover opportunities. We've heard from a recent firm, Diana, that they've actually been getting more clients to convert because the estate planning piece is something that they lead with. And then guess what? Wow. You complete the estate plan, you get it done. You're like, oh, this is simple, easy. I was even able to talk to an attorney via Trust and Will. People talk. So they might go to their neighbor and say, oh, I just got it done. Oh, who did you complete it with or through? Yeah. Well, my advisor or new advisor, existing advisor recommended me to Trust and Will. They're like, oh, can we get an introduction to that advisor? And I'm not kidding you. This is happening weekly. And it's really, really, really fun to see.
I completely agree. Let's talk about success stories, because we both, we talk to a lot of advisors day in and day out, and we've got a ton of case studies on the Trust and Will Learn Center that anyone can go look at right now. But let's just share with the group. Is there one in particular, maybe a few in particular, of a success story of how an advisor implemented estate planning into their practice and maybe what came out of that?
So we've actually had, we recently, about 2 weeks ago, we launched with a firm, and one of the advisors also manages 401k. So obviously, plan engagement with that 401k is super important. And a big thing that the advisor and the firm are focusing on is how can we uncover opportunities for those 401k participants to potentially be private clients, right? So the advisor, the firm, starts managing their own assets, not just a 401k. And they usually do quarterly engagements or like webinars with that clientele on the 401k side. And they're like, something we want to unlock is like engagement. It's low. We've been doing a lot of the same engagements, a lot of the same content. And then we started to plug in the estate planning piece. And they're like, we haven't seen this level of engagement in a few quarters. So one, it's fun to see how estate planning helps uncover, or not uncover, but there's just so many questions about estate planning that your clients have. Your clients and your prospects, they want to know what's a guardian, what's a trust, what's a will. So if you drive that education, regardless of who they use and how they use it, your clients just want your help. So long story short, with that type of engagement, Diana, that firm has been able to book more and more meetings for clients that are saying, hey, I actually have an old 401k I want to talk to you about, or I've been thinking about hiring you, or learning more about what you do outside of the 401k. So engagement is up by leading with education around the estate planning piece.
There's a lot of unknown around the topic.
Totally.
And I feel like when you think about what that means, it means there's a lot of room for education on the topic. So that's an awesome story, Andres. Thank you for sharing. I've got one more question for you, and then we'll let you go here. Let's talk about tools. Let's talk about resources. What exists out there to help financial advisors really do this, like really incorporate estate planning into their
Everything we've ever built is based on feedback from advisors. So when it comes to how do I have a conversation with my client about estate planning, we have 1 or 2 checklists that advisors use based on your feedback on how can I drive that education in a client's meeting. So I don't want to just send my client to like a blog. Maybe they do, but some actually want to drive that in a client meeting. So we have that. 2, we have many firms and advisors that are driving a lot of education via their email marketing, or doing like some type of like video series when it comes to like education. So we have a lot of that. And I think at this point, we drive a few 100,000 prospects or members to Trust and Will that are looking for estate planning tools. So we have a great content team that is now working closely with advisors on like how to really get the educational piece into what you do. And then I'd probably say 3 is once your clients start the process, you have all the tools via the dashboard to see how far along they are. What have they inputted so far? What haven't they? And then some of the big tools that we launched last year is the estate summary and estate plan report, enabling you to easily download and view and go deeper into that kind of, I like to call it, discovery phase of your client's estate plan. Because at the end of the day, it's obviously an amazing peace of mind for your clients that they complete the estate plan. But man, there's so much for you to go a deeper level when it comes to that. So I would say that in conjunction with really good workflows in your CRM that help you stay organized and proactive to uncover a lot of these opportunities and stages that your clients are going through.
And you mentioned WealthBox earlier. We're big fans of WealthBox as well. I couldn't agree more. That is the heart and center of all your relationships. Have that tracked in there. It'll help you stay on track that much more. Andres, thank you so much for sharing.
This was fun, short and sweet, and you make these super enjoyable, Diana. So thanks so much.
And you are just so knowledgeable on the topic. So thanks for sharing. Now, if you're still around with us and you're interested in learning more about trust and will for advisors, there's a little QR code. I think it's right here down below at the bottom. Feel free to scan it or just head over to trustandwill.com/advisors, and we'll see you on the next episode. Thanks so much.
Thanks, everyone.